Hi there. After keeping geckos such a long time these days, I thought it was about time I put together a small video, so I thought I'd start by showing off a number of the males I've been breeding this year. This is Fugly from my Fug line. Sold a few of these over the last couple of years, but this year decided to hold them all back. I'm going to grow them all onto a full adult size and maybe release a few of those next year. So if you're interested in some really big geckos, this guy's certainly the one that produces them. You can see the length of him in the box here, how long he is compared to some of the ones I'm going to show you in a minute. This is my white and yellow. He came from JP Reptile, sold as a pure white and yellow, and thankfully proved out as well. He's in shed at the moment, so he's a little bit dull. Plus the camera lighting in here is not particularly good, so we're not going to see much colour today on the tangerines. But you can see that lovely dorsal white line that goes right down the centre. That's always what I like to see on the white and yellows. And looking above, you can see the white sides, rather than looking on the side angle, looking directly over the top. You can see the white sides. They tend to have white front legs and a nice little bit of paradox spot, and always helps give that clue away. He's got a good big paradox spot right on the elbow there. This is a Sunglow from the Leopard Gecko. This is one of the het marble eyes that I've been working with. A nice tangerine, again the colour really not showing up for the camera here. I'm going to have to work on that lighting for the next video. He's got a bit of a tail nip there. I'm not sure if he nipped it himself trying to get some food, or one of the girls took it off him. But if you've bought any Sunglows possible het marble off me this year, this will be the guy that they came from. This is Maui. He's a high yellow. He's been in my collection since the beginning. He was my first male. He's produced a number of high yellows and hypos, and also with a lot of the girls that have been coming from him over the years have become aberrants. The aberrants have then become jungles. So if you've got any jungle females, high yellows, male or female, from me this year, you can guarantee that he was the father of those. He was a good breeder. This is my Super Snow Eclipse, come from Ultimate Gecko. He's a top breeder. I've got quite a few geckos from him in my collection. Always like to go and see him in Ham every time I visit. Always find myself buying something from his table. He's also known as Super Galaxies or Total Eclipse. Always get a bit confused what we should really be calling them. I love the pied look on these. This guy's only got one just about going up the nose there, just up between the eyes. It'd be nice to try and recreate that over the season, try and get some nice pied markings going around the neck. Make them look a bit more interesting. Hope to produce a few more of those next season. This is my own rainwater line. I've been working for this for a long time now, trying to get some tangerine in there. Again, the tangerine's not showing up too well. And this guy's rainwater het eclipse. He's been my main breeder for the typhoons this year, because the typhoons I produced last year were lacking in so much colour from the lines they come from. The people that have been breeding them over the last few years haven't really bred for colour, so I decided not to use the typhoons that I produced and go back to using a rainwater tangerine het eclipse and put him to some of the typhoons that I've got and some of the other het typhoons, and got the results this year that I was looking for. Some really high class, high end looking coloured typhoons, some patternless, some with stripes, some with jungles and all sorts. I haven't released very many of those at all, but you will see some pictures of those and maybe do some videos on my typhoons, because I've kept about 7 I think back this year just to watch them grow on and see how they do. This is one of my electrics. I've got a few electrics in my collection now. This one comes from a line of electrics I believe they were called Saturn, the Saturn line of electrics. Again, a beautiful tangerine, and I really wish you could see the colour of this guy on the camera. You can see where his black markings once go really green. There's really like an emerald green sort of look coming through there. I love how bold black he is on the head. I'd like to continue reproducing that if I can, and try and get some of the black to stay on the body. I really like the contrast of tangerine and black. It's a nice look we don't see very often. This is a Max November. Been putting these together over the last couple of years. Also known as Snowflakes. This is a good guy. He's produced all my Max No Raptors, my Embers, Max No Embers, Super Embers, also known as Snowstorms this year. I think I only released one of the Snowstorms. They're gorgeous geckos, solid white, absolutely no yellow on them at all, with crisp bright eyes, red eyes. He's not going to open his eyes for us with the lights in it today, unfortunately, so we're not going to be able to show those on camera. But they're really crystal clear red, and they've stayed very bright red right into well past his adulthood as well, which is nice. Hopefully get a few more of those Snowstorms next season. It's one of my favourites. Again, this is a tangerine I've put together here with some electric crosses and the rainwaters. So this is het rainwater. Again, similar to the problem I had with the typhoons, was I was losing a lot of the colour with the visual rainwaters. So I decided to keep back the tangerine's het rainwater that were brighter than the albino colours themselves, and to use those in further projects and stuff. I keep this line clean, it's just rainwater, so therefore when I've cleaned up a few other morphs and bits and pieces, I can use those to add them to the rainwater line without worrying about eclipse or patternless or anything else being in there. And last but not least, I haven't bred this guy yet. He's new to me this year. I'm going to leave you guessing to what he is. He's not a tug snow before anyone guesses that, although he does have that sort of appearance. He's a really big guy. I've actually got a pair of these, and I've got a female to go with him as well. So I'm quite excited about doing some work with these next season. Have a guess what he is, guys. Well, I hope you enjoy seeing some of my males. Maybe I'll do a video next time with some of the females and some of the babies. I'll see how we go and see if we can improve this lighting a little bit to get some more colour showing through on the camera.